You are now tuned in to the frequencies of the TH4 True Health Forever podcast, where we empower your physical, social, spiritual, and economic health. Consume this content every week with positive energy and good intentions. Join me, Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game, and my starlit queen, Sinclair, the health nerd, and share this with those you love. You are strong, you are beautiful, and you are ready to live your best life. Groove it out, hey, shake it out, hey, dance it out, hey. Hey. What is going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to another amazing and impactful episode of the show. Y'all know we're in the rebrand, so
the show.
the show is what we're calling it until the official launch. But my name is Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game, and as usual, what's not changing is my amazing co-host, the beautiful, the chef-orific, yes, the head wrap queen herself. Please introduce yourself.
What is up, everybody? My name is Sinclair, aka the health nerd, and chef-orific I am. I must say, I've had as a chef, you have those moments where you're like, I did that.
Mm-hmm.
I did that. I do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have those other moments where it's like,
Devon
not my best. The pepper wasn't ripe. You start blaming everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
This week has been a good week. I made my sushi salad, which will be a recipe video coming up soon. And then pancakes that I made healthy swaps for and ended up still being delicious. So it's been a good week.
Nice. Well done, queen. And the egg casserole is what stood out for me. The pancakes were cool, but I was like, that's expected. But the egg casserole, I was like, when you hear egg casserole, it's not something that you're like, oh boy, for, so I was glad that was delicious.
We grew up having them every now and then. So I like egg casseroles. If you've never had an egg casserole, it's basically like an omelet in casserole form. So you just do a whole bunch of eggs and your veggies and even added some potatoes in there. And you bake it and you have a little egg casserole. It's a great meal prepping. So I'll give you that tip right now. It's a great meal prepping technique for folks out there. So, look up a recipe. Give it a test.
Yeah. So before we get into the 5 love languages is what we're talking about today. Food being one of my love languages. That's not a part of the 5, apparently. They need to remix that. Queen, can you please hit us with the did you know for the day?
Yes. Did you know meal prepping can drastically increase your likelihood of sticking to your diet? I'm not going to lie, that just came off the dome. So the reason why I wanted to touch on this is, I work with a lot of women and I survey a lot of women. And one thing that consistently comes up as something that they need help with is meal prepping or accountability. And I think that, sticking to the diet is one of the hardest parts of any health journey, especially a weight loss journey, whether you have a calorie goal you're sticking to or a specific diet framework. The reason why meal prepping is so effective is because it takes the emotional part, the decision making out of what you need to eat every single day. If you leave it to what you feel like eating, then we'd be eating Chick-fil-A and McDonald's and Domino's. And
Would we eat McDonald's?
No, we wouldn't. I wouldn't. But long story short, if you leave it to your emotions, then you are leaving it to also what is externally calling you, right? So all of the ads you see on your phone, all of the billboards you pass, all of the fast food restaurants you pass on the way to the gym, right? You're leaving yourself up to being called towards one of those. Whereas if you have your meal already prepared, all you got to do is pop it in the microwave. You already know what you're going to eat. It fits your framework. It's got everything it needs. And you know that it's going to be good for you. So meal prepping is an absolute game changer. If you are not already into meal prepping, definitely recommend you start doing that. Choose a day of the week where you maybe do 1 or 2 meals throughout the day. I just mentioned that egg casserole is a great breakfast meal prepping option. So if you're not already into meal prepping, give it a try. It's also a time saver. So there's multiple reasons why, you'd want to go towards meal prepping, but give it a try. Chilies, one pot meals, chilies, curries, soups are a great thing to try for meal prepping. And it's a great weight loss technique.
Boom. There it is. The did you know for the day. Something that stuck out when you were talking was you said something around you keep switching up your diet, or you keep switching up, what you're eating. You remember that?
I just said you leave it to your emotions,
Leave it up
which,
to
yeah, if you leave it to your emotions, depending on what's happened to you, your
mm,
emotions are externally driven
mhm,
for most of us, right? Something happens and that makes you feel a certain way.
mhm,
So if you are then leaving your eating habits to your emotions, you are essentially leaving your eating habits to whatever's happening to you during that day, which is dangerous because if you have a busy day, then you're going to get something quick, probably not healthy. If you're having a stressful day, you're going to get something that comforts you. Typically, is not healthy, right? All of these things are lead towards typically not the best eating decisions. So don't leave it to your emotions. Leave it to your logic, right? What you know is good for you.
mm.
What you set out to eat in the morning when you have a sound head and some strong willpower is what you should eat.
Right. And I think you can take that same mindset, that same argument for what you accept as love or what you give out
Mm,
as love,
mm,
right? Don't let your emotions, don't let you being in a stressful state, don't let you being in maybe a low self esteem state, you being in a high self esteem state affect how you give out
mm.
and accept love from other people.
Yep.
Right. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the 5 main love languages that there are out there. We're gonna kind of talk about our own experiences with those, how we've used the assessment to help us in business and the relationship, and then how you might be able to make some moves for your own love diet. All right, your own love diet. All right, Queen, are you ready?
I am ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are
Let's
you
get
ready,
into.
Freddie?
Uh, my name is Devon. There was a time where this woman literally forgot my name. I want to put that on record. I want to put that on record. There was a time
I did
where
not.
I was like, "What's my name?" She said, "Uh,
I just
uh."
paused because were you right? I feel like when you're together for so long, like he was babe at that time. We weren't even doing
Oh
king
my
and queen, like
gosh.
he was babe. So it's like that's literally what I call you. You're babe. So when you were like, "What's my name?" Like I was gonna
Uh,
say babe, but I
uh,
was like, "That's not your name. What is your name?"
top 10 funniest moments.
He was like, "Did you just forget my
Did you
name?"
forget
I
my
was like,
name?
"No, no." Kevin Hart, no, it wasn't
No.
me.
Oh gosh, that was hilarious. But without further ado, let's get into the episode. All right, we're out. Oh, all right. Well, in case you all forgot my name, it's
Mm,
Devon Truvel here. But something that I find interesting for me, right? This is something that I deal with maybe once a month, every 2, 3 months. But there's like these just lull of days that I have where I'm just like, I'm not feeling it. Right. And I'll tell the queen, like, hey, my frequencies are off, my energies are off. I was telling Jair a little bit, like, I know I'm blessed, I
mm,
feel blessed, but at the same time, there's like something off with my energy. And I think it's a possible coincidence that today we're talking about love languages, talking
mm.
about things that can recharge you and get you back, get your frequencies back high. So 5 languages by
Gary Chapman.
Gary Chapman, right? Goes through 5 different things. Number one is acts of service, and we're gonna go into details about all of these. But the 5 love languages are acts of service, quality time, physical touch. Oh, and bites apparently. No, no, physical touch, gifts, and words of affirmation.
Mhm.
Okay, these are the 5. Now, before we go into and explain what each of these 5 are, Queen, why do you think like just knowing your love diet, knowing your love language is important, period, whether you're single, you're married, all that stuff?
I think it's important because in whatever type of relationship, again, this could be like this is important for I think just for you to know for like your family members, right? I think for
Mhm,
anybody close to you, you want to know how they perceive love and how they want to be loved. And the reason why that's important is because if you think about the whole phrase like intent versus impact, like
mm,
we've all heard that in some way, shape, or form, but you can be intending to show love in a certain way as much as you want, right? You could be doing this is something I do every single day. This is some way I show love to this person, my partner, my mom, my friend, my whoever, my child. But if they're not perceiving it that way,
Yeah.
then you're putting in a lot of energy towards something that you'll never really reach your goal, right? So I think it's important to know what the other person's love language is so that you can make sure that your intentions are also received and the impact is what you want. Um, so for example, if I just really loved giving gifts, I love making gifts. That's my giving language, right? That's how I express love to other people. If your love language is not gifts, right? Then it may cool, but you'll probably start collecting a little box full of gifts from
Mhm.
Sinclair because it's the thought that counts, but you're not really feeling that. And you're eventually going to get to the point where it's like, dang, I just really want her to give me a compliment. Why? That's all I want, right? For
Yeah.
someone who like is their words of affirmation is their love language. So long story short, you just want to make sure that you're on the same page and that what the love you're trying to give is actually received by the other person.
Beautiful. And it's also good, flip side of that, to know what's the love language that you want to accept from other people as well.
Right.
Right. So whether you're out there and you're dating or you're in your beautiful, amazing marriage or relationship, to be able to say, hey, queen, this is what I need, or hey, king, this is what I need in order to feel loved. And they have those directions. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like communication is something that is so powerful in a relationship.
Mhm.
And me knowing, like, once I knew that your love language was words of affirmation, it's like, oh, bet. I
Right.
could give you that all day, queen. Beautiful,
Yes, you can.
gorgeous, chefalific.
Mm.
Chefalific.
Chef, chef,
Chef.
cheferific.
What was the word?
You said
Cheferific?
cheferific before.
Cheferific. There you go.
Yeah.
You got it. Gotta get the words right now. But I feel like once I was able to know that information, you communicate that to me, I can execute, right?
Right.
But unfortunately, we don't always have the intention or the time as a married couple, relationships, as friends, to sit and be like, "This is my love language. This is what I need from you, and this is what I think you need from me, vice versa."
Yep.
Right? So, let's get into these definitions or examples of these.
My name is Sinclair, and I'm a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner who has created a program that takes a deep dive into your hormone levels and your overall metabolic health to create a highly personalized weight loss protocol that will have you lose up to 30 pounds, gain energy, and have you feeling so good that you go into the back of the closet and pull out that freakum dress. We all have one. So if you are ready to invest in the last weight loss program you will ever need, go to queen2queencoaching.com and book a discovery call to figure out which queen to queen package is right for you. Talk to you soon.
Number one, acts of service. I think this was my number one love language. But 2 years in a row, right? We've taken this 2, 3 years.
I don't know if it was years in a row, but we've taken it twice.
Taking it twice.
Yeah.
Both times, acts of service has been number one. The number two shifts a little bit. But acts of service is just, I appreciate when people do stuff for me,
Mhm.
right? Especially if it's something that I'm responsible for doing. Like, I'm supposed to take out the trash, I'm supposed to clean the dishes, I'm supposed to cook or whatever it is. If someone does that for me, I'm just like, oh, thank you. Thank you so
Bless
much.
your heart.
Like, there's been long nights where I'm up here working, you're downstairs cooking. You're like, Devon, dinner's ready. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, dang. When I come downstairs, I know there's a pile of dishes that I need to clean. Oh my goodness, it's about to be a long night. But then I go down there and the dishes are clean. I'm just like, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. But yeah, acts of service is a love language that I definitely appreciate, identify with. It's also a love language that I think I give to people. Right. Like, if you need something done, you need me to show up somewhere, you need me to do something for you, boom, I'm there, acts of service. I got you. Because that's how I like to accept love. That's also how I like to give out love to friends, family members, and the queen. Right.
Well, this is probably a common one for like people who are busy and just like to keep doing a lot of things. And
Yeah.
typically we all have that person, that friend, that husband, that whoever, who's just always busy, always doing something. I feel like there's probably a correlation between those personality types and
Mhm.
love language, because yeah, he's always doing something. So I feel like if I can take something off that I now understand, right, if I can take something off of his plate, if I can check one of the to-do list thing, one of his to-do list action items, then that frees up his time to do other things or to spend with me or do whatever he wants to do. So I think, yeah, again, like you mentioned before, once you know, then it's like, oh, okay, I now know something else about you that I can use that. Like that's something easy to adopt, right away
Yeah.
that I can now use moving forward to make sure that we're on the same page.
Yes, ma'am. If acts of service is one of your number ones, if you're listening to it and you're like, yep, that's me. I'm a busy person. I like when people do stuff for me. Go ahead and put, if you're watching on YouTube, acts of service in the comments and put an example of what an act of service will look like for you. If you're listening, you're one of our audio listeners, do not comment. Please continue to drive. Thank you. Queen, next one. Quality time. Can you please explain, break down what quality time means and if it's important to you?
Yes, quality time is important to me. I, this was my number two one of the times that we took this. Um, but quality time is just it's time spent together. The quality added on is like that can, vary for whatever that person needs or feels, but that quality is like that for me, like that one-on-one time. It's intentional time.
Mm,
I think it's the intention behind this is time we have set aside to be together, rather than like, oh well, we just went grocery shopping, you was with me, like.
hey, listen, those grocery stores, those trips can be quality. I'm just
Devon has a
saying.
thing of, did you know one of Devon's turn-ons is being a grocery store.
Every
I
time.
don't know what it is about the miles, but my name is Sinclair, and I'm a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner who has created a program that takes a deep dive into your hormone levels and your overall metabolic health to create a highly personalized weight loss protocol that will have you lose up to 30 pounds, gain energy, and have you feeling so good that you go into the back of the closet and pull out that freakum dress. We all have one. So if you are ready to invest in the last weight loss program you will ever need, go to queen2queencoaching.com and book a discovery call to figure out which queen to queen package is right for you. Talk to you soon. Yeah, quality time, it's the intention put behind it. So not just we happen to be together all the time, but we have set aside date night, right? Fridays are date night. We have set aside time to be with each other in each other's company. Doesn't really matter what we're doing, but we're going to do it together. uh, I think that is a huge um part of our relationship, because yes, we do spend a lot of time together, but we do spend a lot of time together working. We do
Mhm.
spend a lot of time together podcasting. Like personally, I wouldn't consider this quality time. You
No,
might,
and
but
there's not quality time.
no, no.
We're getting to know each other
We
a
are
little
getting
bit.
to know each other. But this would not suffice quality time for I.
Noted.
Uh-huh. Mhm. But watching a movie yesterday, we spent a lot of quality time together.
Yes, we did.
We were lazy. We just sat around eating pancakes, drinking mimosas, watching Avengers and Marvel Universe, getting sucked into that universe.
Indeed.
And that was wonderful. That is how we decided to choose, to spend the day. That was planned,
Mhm.
and that felt great. So yes, especially again with people, if you live very busy lives, you got kids that got to go to dance and baseball, and like schedules can fill up very quickly. So it is very important to set aside time, quality time to be with each other. That can mean a lot. And again, for it being a love language, the fact that you have just set aside time to be with that other person, that is the act of love.
Uh,
The intention to be with me and the act of being with me rather than doing everything else that is probably, on your to-do list that you could be doing. You're prioritizing me right now. So that's the act of love and what makes me feel loved.
Agreed. So to all my fellow workaholics out there,
Hmm.
right? My visionaries, my dreamers, my 9 to 9 people. Quality time. This is especially important. If you know that your loved one's love language is quality time, you need to set it aside,
Hmm.
right? I was watching it was a documentary this morning. It was on just like
You
the
watched a documentary this morning?
I did watch a documentary this morning when I was sitting there working out and I was watching the thing on my phone
Oh, gotcha.
and you were trying to talk to me and I wasn't hearing you or listening to you. I was watching that documentary. It's good stuff.
Not giving me quality time. I remember.
Yeah, because I gave it to you Saturday.
You remember?
Yeah, you remember the other day we were watching Avengers. Remember pancakes? Quality.
Pancakes from us.
Ding. But it's important to understand if they like quality time, how can you carve out some time to make sure you're doing that stuff? Because Queen does a great job of doing acts of service. So it's like unfair and unbalanced if she's doing all this acts of service stuff in order to maybe get some more quality time. But and then I just fill that up with, okay, you did that for me. Cool. So now I can do this work and I can do this work. That's, in my opinion, unbalanced and unfair, right? So if she's sacrificing doing those acts of service, then it's on me or it's on you to make sure that you give them that quality time or whatever other love language that's important to them. You good on quality time?
Sí.
Okay, up next. Love your Spanish, Queen.
Gracias.
Of course. Up next is physical touch. And this can be a range of physical touches, right? So this can be a nice sensual rub. This can be a head rub, a back rub. This can be all of the grown man gifts and grown women gifts. This can be holding hands in public, hugging in public, all of that stuff. Oh, look at it. Look. But that is all physical touch. And I believe for me, physical touch was, I think, tied for number one the first time we did it. I think the second time it was number 2, if I'm remembering correctly.
And it's, I think, always been at the bottom of the list for me.
Can you say that louder?
I said, I think it's always been at the bottom of the list for me, or second to bottom.
This is true. And Queen, anything to add on the physical touch?
I mean, the comfortability of physical touch is a tricky one, because I feel like it is more applicable to your closer relationships than it is like a coworker at work, right? You got to be careful with this one, to where this one is like more applicable, like I said, to like a family member, a loved one. It can be a friend, but just make sure that I feel like you've agreed on the type of physical touch that is appreciated and not. Yeah, so just that it needs to be perceived as love and not as something else. So just be clear on like, these are the types of physical touches that feel good, right? And then the whole intent versus impact again comes back to mind when I think about physical touch. Is just make sure that whatever you're gonna do is appreciated by the other person. So this could be like Grandy and her hugs, right? She loves a good hug, especially from Devon. So I think that, right, keeping that in mind, that's her love language. She loves to get a good hug in every now and then. To whereas for someone else, they may not be a hugger, right? They may not. They're kind of like, physical space. I'm good, my bubble. Right, exactly. And just understand that, great, me showing love to Sophia is going to look a lot different than Grandy. So yeah, just something to keep in mind, that there's additional conversation need to be had with this one. Don't just assume that just touching them in any type of way is going to be seen as love. Like, talk about that. Make sure that whatever you're doing is perceived.
Agreed.
The
And
way you want it to.
In addition to that point, we're a family-friendly podcast. We're not going to go into the very specifics of it, but I think you can take that same mindset even for your intimate relationships, right? You can assume one level of physical touch is something that somebody wants or is welcome, but until you have that open conversation of these are the ways that I would appreciate it,
right?
You don't know. So you have to have those open, communicative.
Sure.
Y'all know I make up words all the time on here, but you need to make sure you communicate those things, those barriers. What are the good things that they like, and what are the maybe not so good things? But again, family friendly podcast. We're not gonna go into the details on that, but have a conversation.
You get it.
Up next, Queen, gifts.
Thank you. And my phone.
I got you.
Thanks. Gifts. So giving gifts, giving something either physical or something that you're actually transferring to the other person. So yeah, like the first person that comes to mind when I think about this is Joy, my friend Joy. She loves giving gifts. She is like a gift person, and she loves receiving them too. But like, she loves giving and she'll give you a gift in like a nice decorated box that she painted or made or whatever. Christiane is also coming to mind. She
Mm,
loves to do collages. A lot of my friends are gift, at least on the giving side, they're gift people.
mm,
She used to every single year for my birthday, and for everybody's birthdays, do a little like collage of pictures from that year. And
mm.
I still have some of them in my
Facts.
bedroom at my parents' house. So yeah, it's just the act of like I've put labor into, creating this thing, or a handmade gift is that's a whole nother level of love.
For you.
For me, it is. But yes, it's just the act of I'm giving you something that I think that you will value. And yeah, first for folks who have the love language of gift, giving them a very meaningful gift, whatever that is for them. It could be they wanted the new Chanel bag and you got it for them, and now they're on top of the world.
Mhm,
It could be, like I said, a hand. Maybe you have a gift yourself and you lend that gift to the other person. So maybe I'm a painter and I've done a self portrait of you or something, right? That can be an amazing gift for someone else.
mhm,
So yeah, it does depend on the type of gift that they want, what they value. But gift giving is a another love language that a lot of people kind of identify with. They love giving, they love receiving gifts from their loved ones.
mhm. All right, we're gonna get back to the episode in a second, but breathe. If you've ever had a brilliant idea, I'm pretty sure everybody just took a breath right there, right? Because we all have amazing ideas. But I got a question for you. What's stopping you from taking that idea and actually making it into a business, actually executing on your brilliance? My name is Devon Truvel, and in 2018, I was able to create, market, and sell my own product while still working a 9 to 5. And through the years, I've taken the lessons we've learned, the expensive webinars that I've gone to, and the dozens of business books that I've read, and I've discovered 7 simple steps to launch your business. If you're ready to take your business idea to the next level and make it real and start making profit from your passion, head to www.launchitcommunity.com and grab yourself the book. We've been able to make it very simple, affordable, and easier than ever to start that business while still working your 9 to 5. And we take entrepreneurs every single Friday and we talk to them. We teach them about how to use social media. We teach them about how to set up their Instagram account, how to use Shopify, how to use Printful, and other tools that can help you take your business to the next level, but not take tons of time away from your 9 to 5 and your busy life that you already have. So if you're ready to take that idea to the next level, make sure you head to www.launchitcommunity.com, get yourself a book, and join our free accountability calls. Now, let's get back to the episode. For me, what is I'm struggling with the difference between like gifts and acts of service.
Mm,
I think there's some overlap, but
it can be.
how would you distinguish the two?
I think I guess when I think of gift, I think of a physical thing.
Okay.
So, like I said, a purse or a pair of shoes or a meditation beads, or a
Mm,
physical thing. Whereas, like an act of service can be just me doing something that you already have on your list to do, or doing something. It doesn't have to be something you already have on your list, but doing something, they can overlap. I think they
mm,
can overlap. Like if you got me a massage,
right.
that can technically count as both. It's a gift, but I'm gonna get massaged one way or another. So that's also kind of like an act
uh,
of service. So I think they can definitely overlap.
there
Yeah.
it is. Gifts. And then the last one, the queen's favorite that I'll introduce him. I'll let you talk about it. Is words of affirmations.
Yes, sir. So words of affirmation are just they're words. It sounds weird to say that
They are.
people receive love from words, but there is a large subset I'm learning. Because I feel like a lot of times when we talk about love languages, there's usually someone else in the group that also has the love language words of affirmation. But yeah, speaking positive words to them, right? Affirming them
Mm,
in some way, shape, or form, whether that's you look good today, or whether that's I see you in that meeting last week. You really held your own. Good job. Or whether it's, man, this food is fire.
mm.
Or I see you and putting in that work lately, whatever it is. Just affirming them in some way, shape, or form can mean a lot, because it makes them feel seen, heard, valued. Um, yeah, and especially if I think that if you're not used to receiving, and I feel like now I am because you're just great at giving words of affirmation.
Oh, thank you.
If that's not something that what I'm learning, like I'm not very good at saying words of affirmation to myself
Mm,
and therefore not very good at saying them to others either. So I think that that's something that I'm uncovering about myself too, why I like to hear them from other people because I don't always say them to myself. So it's
mm,
like, oh yeah, you're right, this food is good, or you're right, I have been putting in that work. Um, so I think that that's can be somewhat of a overlapping too.
yeah.
But yes, I like to receive words of affirmation because again, it does I can often be overly critical of myself. So it's
Mm,
good to hear affirmations. They shouldn't have to come from other people. It's something I'm working on, but it is good to hear them nonetheless.
yeah.
And it does kind of remind me sometimes to take a step back and be like, yeah, okay. And start affirming myself. It almost serves as a reminder.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is my love language. So that is why the king has kind of pivoted and you're killing it now of,
Thank you.
every day giving me some type of
Thank you
compliment,
very much.
calling me beautiful, calling me queen, like all of that really does make me feel good. Feel good.
Nice. You hear that? You know what I'm saying? On the job, y'all.
Yeah.
But you said something dope. You said
I said a lot of things that were dope, Devon.
yes, this is a fact, Queen. But you said I'm forgetting what it is. We were like, I shouldn't need it from other people. I should get
Mhm,
it from myself.
mhm.
And I think that's a good lesson when you're listening through this. Like, definitely let us know or let yourself know what love language is for you. But just because that's your love language, that doesn't mean that you need to wait for other people to give you that love.
Right.
And that's something that I need to work on. Like, if I know my love language is acts of service, and I'll do stuff for other people all the time, and when people do stuff for me, it's a beautiful thing. But it's like, Devon, when can you take time to do something for yourself?
Right.
Right. Or if Queen knows her thing is words of affirmation, beautiful. When can you wake up, look in the mirror, and give yourself those same words, which I know you've done, written in your journal, all that beautiful stuff. So challenge for you all
Yep.
is one, take the five love language assessment. It's
Free.
free, right? Go take it. Have your partner take it if you have one, but figure out which one is your love language. Is it acts of service, quality time, physical touch, gifts, or words of affirmation? Which of the five is your top one, maybe top two? And figure out how can you give that love to yourself.
Yep.
All right, how can you give yourself a gift? How can you give yourself words of affirmations? How can you just give yourself physical touch? I mean, sometimes I hug myself, to be honest with you.
We're a family friendly podcast, so I won't go
Huh?
there. I was
Oh,
gonna answer your question, but then
uh,
I said we're a family friendly podcast, so I won't go there.
well done, Queen. We'll talk about that later. You see what I'm dealing with here, y'all. But yeah, figure out how can you give yourself love, right? In one of those five categories. And then of course, figure out what your partner's love language is and how can you make sure on a consistent basis you're giving them the love language that they understand as well. Okay.
Yep.
Good, Queen.
Good. Great.
Yes, you are.
Thanks.
All right, we're gonna get back to the episode in a second, but breathe. If you've ever had a brilliant idea, I'm pretty sure everybody just took a breath right there, right? Because we all have amazing ideas. But I got a question for you. What's stopping you from taking that idea and actually making it into a business, actually executing on your brilliance? My name is Devon Truvel, and in 2018, I was able to create, market, and sell my own product while still working a 9 to 5. And through the years, I've taken the lessons we've learned, the expensive webinars that I've gone to, and the dozens of business books that I've read, and I've discovered 7 simple steps to launch your business. If you're ready to take your business idea to the next level and make it real and start making profit from your passion, head to www.launchitcommunity.com and grab yourself the book. We've been able to make it very simple, affordable, and easier than ever to start that business while still working your 9 to 5. And we take entrepreneurs every single Friday and we talk to them. We teach them about how to use social media. We teach them about how to set up their Instagram account, how to use Shopify, how to use Printful and other tools that can help you take your business to the next level, but not take tons of time away from your 9 to 5 and your busy life that you already have. So if you're ready to take that idea to the next level, make sure you head to www.launchitcommunity.com, get yourself a book, and join our free accountability calls. Now, let's get back to the episode. Beautiful. So let's now go into the Ask Declare segment. And I don't know if you looked at the outline.
I did. I
You
didn't
did?
actually go
What
to
you
the
want,
Ask
honey? Yeah,
Declare
no,
section.
yeah, don't look at it.
Here
It's
we
too
go,
late now.
y'all. I do not know what's about to
It's
come.
too late now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a guess their love language game.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I got 4 people, not too hard. We'll go with the one who's trending right now.
Will Smith.
No, the other one.
Ah.
Jada Pinkett Smith. What would you think is her love language?
If I had to guess, I'd probably.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going back and forth between acts of service or physical touch.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm saying that is if if based on the last conversation, the last podcast we had where we talked about like the look, right? If she did indeed give the look that meant it is now time for you to go handle business,
Mm-hmm.
then you can kind of consider that an act of service, right? She wasn't going to go up there and take care of that, but she gave the look to Will, and Will went to go handle it and serve his queen by slapping Chris Rock on the face
Violently.
And the other reason I'm saying maybe physical touch is because of the whole entanglement situation,
Oh, goodness.
that had happened or whenever that was.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe she was not getting the love that she needed from her marriage. So then she went outward to find that physical touch from Sir August.
There it is. Okay. Let us know what y'all think. Physical touch. What was the other one? Acts of service, gifts. I can't with you. I can't with you. All right. Up next. This is a mythical creature, Sonic the Hedgehog. All right. If Sonic the Hedgehog, if you were to guess,
I don't
what
know
would be
anything about
Sonic's
Sonic.
love language?
This would be like ask me Pikachu. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't watch Sonic. I'm literally guessing because I don't really know anything about Sonic.
Okay.
Let's see. I know he's fast.
That he is.
So, words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation. Okay.
You're so fast. Go, Sonic.
Sinclair. My guess would be acts of service, because in Sonic 1, the movie, he has like these very dusty shoes, and because he runs so fast, his shoes have like holes in it. And there was a little girl, I think, that gave him a pair of shoes
As a gift.
Deep. So it's a maybe gifts or maybe acts of service. I think there's a blend. But I'm gonna go with acts of service, especially because he's also a superhero. So he's doing acts of service for people. Right. So if someone's gonna help Sonic, I feel like he would see that as some love. Right? Okay, number 3, Kevin Hart.
All right.
Get about the boat.
Kevin Hart.
So keep saying random Kevin Hart lines.
Acts of service, gifts, words of affirmation. I'd probably say words of affirmation. Words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation. Yeah. Okay. Why that?
Because I feel like as a comedian, he's giving words almost of affirmation because he wants to hear people laugh. So I feel like other people laughing and giving him compliments on his comedy probably also makes him feel loved. That's what I think.
Yes. I would say, based on our conversation, acts of service. Because I feel like he's
probably really busy.
He's out there hustling. He's doing a lot of stuff. So I feel like if you can do something that takes something off of his plate, like legitimately, like, oh, dang, that was very helpful, I feel like he'd be like, I rock with you.
Yeah. I can see that.
All right. Last but not least, Queen Bey.
Who's that?
Beyonce.
Queen Bee is what you meant to say.
It's my favorite button today.
Is it? and any true Beyonce fans knows that it's Queen Bee, just like the beehive. It's not the Bayhive. Talked about this. Beyonce.
Mm-hmm.
Acts of service, gifts, words of affirmation, physical touch. I'm going back and forth between acts of service and physical touch.
Okay. Based on?
Acts of service, because again, I just feel like she's really busy and probably would benefit from people taking care of things on her list. Physical touch, just based on some of her songs.
Gotcha.
Let me sit, you know.
Mm-hmm. Again, we do aim to be a family friendly podcast. This is a very interesting episode today. This will not happen again. I'll have a conversation with Sinclair after this podcast, and we will make sure that. But I would probably say for Beyonce, I don't know her that well, so I'll trust you on the acts of service for her being just a busy mogul for sure. That'll probably be for anyone who is a mogul like that and is a business in themselves. I just assume acts of service is something that they would appreciate. But I will second your physical touch with no lyrics.
Boring.
Okay. Now I do want to talk a little bit about how you feel we've been able to use love languages within our own marriage and how it has helped or not helped. And I don't want to assume anything, but how have you been able to engage in love language knowledge and either for yourself, for me, for us as a unit?
I think that it has helped us, excuse me, just come to know each other, I think, even a little bit better. We so we just given y'all a lot of tea in the last couple episodes here, but I think it was the last episode where I talk about our brief break in our relationship. So one of the reasons that we had that was because you did not feel appreciated by me, right? And that in the moment caught me a little bit off guard because I was like, what do you mean? Like, I've been doing this, I've been doing that. Like, how does he not feel appreciated? Like, I literally thought that you were lying to me when you said that because I was just like, that can't be the reason. It doesn't even make sense that he would not feel appreciated, right? But now that we've had multiple conversations since then, we've grown a lot since then, we've taken this test now. Right now, I understand that what I was doing just was not being seen in the same way as you, right? So you were, who knows what your love language was at that time, but let's say it was the same thing, acts of service, but I'm here just telling you how much I love you, right? Just saying, giving you words of affirmation, right? And you're like, you still are kind of like, words are cheap, talk is cheap, action, you're about that action, right? So now that I know that, it doesn't make sense for, even though my love language is words of affirmation, I have to keep in mind that I can't just reciprocate that and expect him to be cool. It's like the golden rule versus the platinum rule. Are you familiar with that? When you say, like, especially like kids, a lot of children are taught the golden rule, which is treat others how you want to be treated, right? If I were to do that, then I would just be giving you a whole bunch of words of affirmation, right? Because that's what I want. So it only makes sense that I treat you the way I want to be treated, right? So that's the golden rule. That's one level. Cool. That's better than treating people like crap, but that's not the best way, in my opinion, right? The step above that is the platinum rule, which is treat others how they want to be treated, right? So even though I know I like words of affirmation, if that's not his love language, it does not make sense. It's not going to be perceived the best. We are not going to have the best relationship if that's all I'm doing for you. Right. So if I know that the way you want to be treated is through acts of service, then I need to be willing to give that to you in order for us to have that really strong relationship. So I think that we've grown a lot since then in terms of, I just didn't understand back then. Like, what do you mean you don't feel appreciated? I'm doing all of these things, or I'm saying all of these words. Like, I literally just told you that you're appreciated, right? But that doesn't mean anything unless I'm putting the action behind it. So now that I understand that, I think I'm able to better understand your needs, suit your needs, and understand where you're coming from if you ever are not feeling those needs being met.
Mhm.
And that can happen when maybe I'm going through a really busy time, or I'm going through my own thing, and I just forget to be, doing the dishes and taking out the trash when I know that you have stuff to go on, stuff going on as well. So that just can just be something for me to keep in mind, is like, even with everything that I'm going on, I also need to keep in mind that I'm in a partnership with you.
Mhm.
You also have your own battles you're facing. So even though I may be dealing with my own thing, I also need to keep in mind, like, dang, Devon's had a busy day. Okay, what can I do? What's something I can take about off his plate today? I need to keep that in mind as well. Those are the little sacrifices that we make that mean
Mhm.
a lot for the other person, and I think really show that you are listening
Yes.
and responding accordingly.
Mhm. That was good.
Wow,
That was
wow,
good.
wow, 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 wow.
And on the very flip side of that, right? I think because acts of service is my love language and words of affirmation is not. I feel like for a while I wasn't giving you the words of affirmation
Mm,
that you needed, right? The
mhm.
saying that I love you, saying beautiful, saying the queen. I was like, why I gotta say it? I'm gonna do it.
Right.
I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna do this for you, and that's going to mean that I love you. That's going to mean that's going to show you how much I care. But then we got to the point where we took the love languages test, and we were like, oh, interesting.
Mhm.
So all the stuff that I've been doing and all the stuff you've been saying hasn't.
Mm,
We've been hustling backwards,
right.
right? So that's why I take the test, because you're probably doing all these efforts, you're saying these words, you're giving these gifts, but is it really moving the needle? Is it pushing your relationship further? Is it strengthening your relationship? So take the test so that you can know, yeah, words of affirmation, boom, because to be honest with you, saying the words is easier than doing the actions in my head. Like now that I know that's what you need,
Mm,
like I feel like the effort isn't harder.
mhm.
The intention is what it is,
Right.
though. Yeah. Anything else on that?
No. And I feel like for me, I just wanted to clarify, it doesn't mean that I don't also appreciate the action.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it just seals the deal,
Mm,
right? It like matches the words with the action. That's why he's doing that.
mm,
Okay. He's showing his love because you just told me, okay, I get it now. Like, it all makes sense.
yes.
Whereas it's probably the same for you. I don't want to speak for you, but like, it's not that the words, it's not that you don't even hear the words, you don't care for the words. It's just that the words with the action are what makes everything align, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So it doesn't mean that I can just never tell you that I love you, and vice versa, right? It's just that it like seals the deal, right? Keep
Mm-hmm.
doing the actions, keep saying the words, but keep in mind what their love language is, and make sure that you are sealing the deal with whatever that is, right?
Yes.
So you can still give them an act of service, but if their love language is a gift, maybe you also bring them some flowers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, hey, I got your car washed, and here's a bouquet of flowers. Like, oh,
Yeah.
that's it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, so just really make sure that um you really put that intention towards trying to know and trying to love the other person the way that they want to be loved.
Yes. I'm gonna bring something up, and I'm trying to wrap this show up. It's been a good show. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. If you're listening, please, after you're done driving, make sure you like and follow the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all the places where you listen to
All the apps.
podcasts. But I also feel like your love language, at least for me, and knowing you possibly for you as well, stem from your childhood
Mm,
and possibly stem from some trauma.
mm,
So I think understanding where that comes from, I think unlocks more potential within yourself.
mhm,
Right. And I think for me growing up, I've had people that say words that associate with I love you,
mhm,
but their actions didn't associate with I love you.
mhm,
So that's why for me, you can say all you want. I've experienced that type of love. And for me, that type of love isn't authentic love.
mhm,
But the people who are doing stuff for me, even if they're not saying it, if they're doing the stuff, that has felt like a safer and more authentic love for me. So that's why growing up, or like now that I'm in my adulthood, people who say a lot of words, I'm just like, oh, okay, yeah, it's cool. Okay,
mhm,
yeah, it's cool. But I don't really take the words to heart until I see what effort you're doing, until I see what work you're doing, what sacrifices you're willing to make. Then it's like, oh, okay, yeah, they're real. They actually care about me. They actually love me. Bet, right? And I think you have a kind of a similar story to
mhm,
why words of affirmation just hit so beautifully for you because of background,
mhm,
right? So I think again, communication, learning that talk, learning the childhood trauma, there's a childhood experience and how that connects to how your partner lives and operates today. Very, very important kind of connections to make.
And I think you bring up a good point of like, let this be a tool for you to dig deeper
Mm,
into. Okay, well, words of affirmation. Okay, so why do you like words of affirmation?
yep,
Where does that stem from, right? And it does unlock some other things that you can start to talk about if you haven't already.
yeah.
So it definitely is a good tool to use for. I mean, any relationship, but especially if you're going to start somewhere, I think a romantic relationship with your
Mhm.
partner is a good place to start for love languages.
Yes, ma'am. Then the last little tidbit, can you, and I'll talk a little bit about it as well, talk about how learning love languages has helped us in the business side as well. Because we are, yes, a powerful, beautiful, amazing married couple, but we're also powerful, amazing married business partners as well. So I know for me, especially 2022, and I think a little bit 2021, being able to be like, Sinclair, can you do this PO? Can you do this invoice? And like you being able to do those acts of service within the business has been tremendous. Oh, because those are things I don't necessarily like to do, and they take like literally drain energy from me. So being able to have a amazing partner to do those things within the business, it's been beautiful.
Yes. Um, yeah, I think that it is really critical for that business relationship too, because the same way you need love and affirmation in your romantic relationship, you also need that in the business relationship.
Mm,
Just because you say that you love me does not mean that you value me as a business partner.
mm,
Right. So I think that it's good to still be giving that affirmation. Hey, I see what you've been doing for the business lately. I see that you took those POs, you handled that. Hey, I
mhm,
see you in that meeting. Hey, I see you. So I think that it's important to separate that in terms of like, okay, yes, you have your romantic relationship, you're working on it, then also transfer that to the business relationship. So
mhm,
if you know that words of affirmation is the other person's love language, then when you see them do something good, step outside of their comfort zone for the business, or do something, just get a job done, do something really well, make sure you voice that. Make sure you voice it. Make sure you give them some sort of affirmation for that. Or if they're doing if their love language is gifts, like make sure you give them a gift for that really solid masterclass or for that really good presentation they did. So I think that it definitely translates over for the business relationship as well. um yeah.
Well done, Sinclair.
Thank
Well
you.
done. That was great. Every time I do the applause, you smile. Oh goodness. But hopefully y'all got some good nuggets out of that one. Please, we definitely encourage you to take the 5 love languages assessment. I believe that the website, and we can do some double checking, but I believe it's 5lovelanguages.com. Take that assessment for free. Take your partner, take it as well, and then just really have conversations about what this means.
That is correct. It is www.5lovelanguages.com.
Boom. They are not a sponsor, though we would love a partnership because
We
we
would love a
we talk
partnership
about y'all all the time, right?
all the time.
But yeah, take that assessment, y'all, and have some conversation around the results. Cool, cool. So lastly, Queen, some check-ins, some updates. Can you tell people what you got popping, or maybe some difficult times you had as an entrepreneur, as a person this week?
What are you talking
I'm not talking about anything specifically, but
about? Oh.
there was a time where earlier this week you were like, Devon, let's do highs and lows during the pocket. And I was like, no,
Ah,
but you can talk about highs and lows during your updates. And you're like, okay.
that is true. That did happen. Um, yeah, so main thing that I've got going on right now is today.
Hmm.
Today, as of us recording this, it is Sunday, April 10th. I know he told me to stop mentioning the date, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Um we've officially launched the Queen to Queen, excuse me, the Queen to Queen Weight Loss Accountability Group. So that is a free group where you can come, queens, queens. You can come And if you know what you need to do, this is a great group to just help you stay consistent with it. That's one of the hardest parts of any weight loss, journey, is just stopping too early, quitting too early, stopping, staying consistent is really the hardest part. That, especially what I've learned with, talking to a lot of women, is that's a lot of things that people struggle with. So this is a group where we are going to come together. We're going to uplift each other. We're going to voice our goals with each other and help each other stay accountable to meet those goals, so that these micro weeks, these micro goals we have, will add up to our overall goal in the end. So right now, the easiest way you can join the group right now is going to my Instagram at the Health Nerd. That's 3 E's Health Nerd. That's the Instagram handle. And then click on the link in my bio, and that's where you can sign up right now. And we are getting started today. I already got some queens in there. Make sure you jump on it. So yes, definitely do that. Thank you. That's all I got.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So for me on my side, thank you, Jair, for putting up the visuals. Much love. For me, what do I want to highlight? It's been a beautiful week. As y'all know, we have some educational programs that we're kind of unveiling and unrolling at some school districts, and some things are finally starting to move forward, which has been a little bit stressful for me. And the queen knows I'm stressed about it, because I have very high expectations of myself and of programs that we put together, and I really want it to be successful. Really want to make sure that we hit the ground running and really just come out the gate popping, creating impact, creating opportunities for students. So I just have real high expectations for myself. So really wanted to make sure that we just do it right. So blessed because these opportunities are coming, but now that they're here, I'm a little bit stressed to make sure that we can do what we said we're going to do and even more. But long story short, those programs are coming into works. We're hiring some college mentors to help us with that. We got them already hired, got 4 of them. Appreciate y'all. Y'all are going to be possibly name dropping later on. But yeah, that's exciting. On the other hand, we also sold out of second edition board games. Yes, we sold out of second edition board games, but fret not, don't you worry. Fret not. We have more games coming very, very soon. So if you didn't have a chance to get your game yet for your family, for your scholar, or for yourself, you can go to playbblackwallstreet.com. That is playbblackwallstreet.com to go ahead and secure your game. The masterpiece editions are also on sale for $40 off. So if you don't want to wait for the second edition and you want to just upgrade your life real quick, you want to get some black art, some black excellence, some melanated brilliance inside your home real quick, and you don't want to wait, you can go to playblackwallstreet.com and get yourself the masterpiece edition. And if you're watching on YouTube, we got a preview of what the website looks like. There's a lot of great stuff on there. We have courses. We have the Black History Adventures of Rose and Rodney book. We have I'll Be a Man One Day, Intro to Afrofuturism course. A lot of really powerful stuff on the website. But you won't know until you go to playblackwallstreet.com and get yourself a game or some other amazing brilliance. Queen,
King.
Anything else for today before we let folks have an amazing, powerful, brilliant, whatever day it is for them?
No, I think that covers it. It's a good episode.
Twas. All right. Well, beautiful people, as usual, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. My name is Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board games.
I'm Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd.
We hope y'all stay healthy. We hope y'all stay mentally wealthy. And of course, we hope y'all keep listening to the show, because we don't know what our outro is yet, because we were in the middle of a rebrand. So we need to come up with a whole new outro. But for now, appreciate y'all. Stay true.
Thank you for tuning in to the True Health Forever podcast. We hope you learned something valuable that you can take and implement into your life. Now, we've all heard that sharing is caring, and this podcast is no exception. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend, a family member, a coworker, a stranger walking down the street, anybody who you think can level up from this message. As always, we appreciate your support, and we'll talk to you next week. Be well.